Slap. The sound cracked through the air. Chloe's head snapped to the side, her hair whipping across her face. When she turned back, her eyes were blazing with fury. Chloe, we're done. Because I had dinner with Ethan Vance last night? Is that it? Yes, that's exactly it. For the 2 years we'd been together, I'd put up with all of it. Every mood swing, every little fit of temper. I could handle anything. The one thing I couldn't tolerate was a wavering heart. Yesterday was my birthday. I'd planned everything. A perfect evening where I was going to ask her to marry me. But she didn't pick up my calls. Didn't answer my texts. Just when I was about to convince myself she was just swamped at work, my phone buzzed. It was a picture from her. Chloe and Ethan Vance, sitting across from each other at a Camelot dinner. It came with a single line of text. I'm with the person I want to be with. Don't bother me. In that instant, my world turned to ice. I thought what we had was real, that we were in love. Turns out, I was the only one in the story. Before I could even process it, a message request popped up on my Instagram. I accepted it, about to ask who it was. He beat me to it. Another photo. This time, Chloe was linking her arm through his, the two of them feeding each other bites of food. Then the text. The only reason she's with you is because our names sound alike. You're Nathan Miller. I'm Ethan Vance. Sucks, doesn't it? She loves me. I'm back now, so you can get lost. You're Ethan Vance? Chloe's ex. That's me. Know your place and get away from Chloe. The casual way he used her name, like he owned it, made my blood boil. I stared at the picture, at his smug, taunting words, my hand crushing my phone. The rage of betrayal shot straight through me, leaving my mind a roaring blank. All I wanted was to find Chloe and hear it from her. If she'd really moved on, I could let them have their twisted little reunion. If it was a misunderstanding, I was willing to give her one more chance. 2 years was a long time to throw away without a fight. I forced a breath, calming myself down. I typed back a reply to the anonymous account. Did he think I was some pushover he could just walk all over? You brave enough to send me your location? Silence for a moment. Then a pin dropped in my DMs. I threw on a jacket, grabbed my car keys, and peeled out of the garage of my Lincoln Park condo, flooring it toward the restaurant. My hand were clamped on the steering wheel, but my mind was spinning. The image of the woman I loved, the woman I was going to marry, getting cozy with another man was a 1,000-pound weight on my chest. I couldn't breathe. Tiny, sharp pains pricked at my heart. I gasped for air, taking deep, ragged breaths, forcing myself to calm down. This goddamn homewrecker had the nerve to provoke me. What did he take me for? Some weak-willed protagonist from a sappy romance novel who just takes the abuse? Today, he was going to learn that if you're going to be the other man, you'd better be ready for the consequences. I screeched to a halt in front of the restaurant minutes later, not even bothering to shut the car door as I sprinted inside. At the entrance, I paused, taking one last deep breath. Get the story first, I told myself. Then react. I scanned the room and saw them in a corner booth. I walked toward them, my footsteps silent on the thick carpet. Chloe's back was to me. She didn't see me coming. Ethan looked up. The smile on his face froze for a second before morphing back into a mask of smooth charm. He picked up a piece of seared scallop with his fork and held it to Chloe's lips. Chloe, honey, your favorite. Try this. She opened her mouth and took it, the movement so natural it hurt. Ethan set down his fork and looked right at me, his eyes gleaming with victory. Clap, clap, clap. I applauded slowly as I approached the table. Well, don't let me interrupt this charming little scene. At the sound of my voice, Chloe went rigid. She spun around, and when she saw me, panic flashed across her face. She stumbled to her feet and rushed over, grabbing my hand. Nate, it's not what you think. Then explain it to me, I said, gesturing with my chin toward Ethan, who was leaning back in his seat looking perfectly relaxed. He's an old friend. We haven't seen each other in years, so we were just catching up over dinner. That's all. Chloe's explanation came out in a frantic rush. I laughed, a bitter, humorless sound. An old friend? Or an old flame? I think you know the answer to that better than anyone. Seeing the look on my face, Chloe's eyes darted away. She seemed to steel herself. Okay, yes, we dated, but that was a long time ago. It's over. We just ran into each other. That's it. Don't read too much into it. That's right, Nate. Ethan chimed in, a smirk playing on his lips. Just a coincidence. A friendly dinner. No need to get the wrong idea. We're still friends, after all. ex-boyfriend. Coincidence. For some reason, those two words together aren't really landing for me, I said. Chloe, why don't you explain the phone call you took this morning before you rushed out of the apartment? Wasn't that him? Were you following me? Following you? You think that highly of yourself? I'm not that bored. But when you combine that little disappearing act with the text message you sent me, the picture starts to get pretty clear. Text? What text? I didn't send you anything. She immediately pulled out her phone, scrolling through her message history with me. Of course, it was empty. I just smiled and glanced at Ethan, who suddenly looked flustered. I took out my own phone, pulled up our chat, and held the screen in front of her face. When she saw the picture of her and Ethan, and the words, "I'm with the person I want to be with," her brow furrowed. She whirled on Ethan. You went through my phone? I was just messing with him, Chloe. It was a joke. A joke? Do I look like I'm 5 years old? He's right, Nate. It was just a joke. Ethan added, wiping a bead of sweat from his forehead. I just wanted to see if you really cared about Chloe. Nate, you see? It was all a misunderstanding, Chloe said, desperate to smooth things over. Let's just drop it, okay? Look, what do you want? I'll buy you anything you want as an apology. You don't see how deliberate this provocation is? Then what do you want? Just name it. I'll do anything, she pleaded, trying to end the public spectacle. It's simple. I walked over to Ethan and, without another word, slapped him hard across the face. He staggered back, clutching his cheek, his eyes wide with disbelief. Nathan, what the hell? You can't just hit me. I could call the cops. Provocation comes with a price. Did you really think I was some pathetic pushover? Nathan, what are you doing? Chloe yelled, pulling me away from him. We're in public. Have you no shame? She pushed Ethan behind her, shielding him. Seeing that, my anger flared even hotter. Shame? You're having a romantic dinner with this homewrecker, feeding each other like a couple of lovebirds, and you're asking me about shame? My voice was loud now, and I could see a few other diners pulling out their phones to record. It was wrong of me to hide this from you, okay? I'm sorry, but that doesn't give you the right to just attack someone. What did Ethan do wrong? Ethan, I spat. You sound so close. By hiding this snake behind you, where does that leave me? Your actual boyfriend? That's not. I just don't want you to get in trouble. And I already explained, there's nothing going on between us. He's not a homewrecker. Why won't you believe me? Believe you? We'll get to that. But first, you want to know why I hit him, right? I started reaching into my pocket for my phone. The moment I did, Ethan's face went pale. He clutched his chest, a look of agony spreading across his features. He never imagined I'd show Chloe the messages he sent me. Chloe, my chest. It hurts, he gasped. Can you get me to a hospital? You know, my heart condition. Seeing him like that, Chloe panicked. She rushed to his side, propping him up. She looked back at me, her voice strained. Nate, can you just go home? I'll take him to the ER, and I'll explain everything tonight, I promise. My hand froze in my pocket. You're going to take another man to the hospital? Right in front of me? What else am I supposed to do? Just stand here and watch him die? How can you be so cruel? With that, she started helping Ethan toward the door. I stepped in their way. You're really going to humiliate me like this? Maybe you should take a look at what's on my phone before you make your final decision. I held my phone out to her. Just as she was about to look, Ethan let out a loud groan. His eyes rolled back in his head, and he went limp, collapsing against her. Her attention snapped back to him instantly. Can you stop being so unreasonable? This is life or death, she screamed, slapping my hand away. I didn't flinch. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, I said calmly, that he's faking it. What then? Slap. This time, it was her hand against my face. And in that moment, I saw it. A faint, triumphant smirk on Ethan's lips. You hit me? For another man? Nate, I'm sorry. Slap. I hit her back, the sound echoing my own shock. That one's for you. I'm not some toy you could just play with whenever you feel like it. Nate, can we please just let me get him to the hospital now? I looked at her, at the rage and tears welling in her red-rimmed eyes. I stepped aside. As I followed her out to the valet, I spoke again, my voice cold as ice. Chloe, did 911 stop working? Or did all the ambulances in Chicago suddenly break down? She froze, the meaning behind my words sinking in. She hesitated, her movements slowing. Ethan, seeing his advantage slipping, whimpered from the passenger seat. Chloe, I don't have any friends or family here. You're the only person I know. For old time's sake, just this once. Please, take me to the hospital." She looked at Ethan's pained expression, his face contorted as if he were on the verge of death. She didn't look back at me again. "Chloe, don't say I didn't warn you," I said, my voice dangerously low. "If you get in that car and drive him to the hospital, we are over. There will never be an us again. You'd better think very carefully. You know I mean what I say." Her hand, already on the driver's side door handle, tightened until her knuckles were white. "Nate, why are you forcing me to do this? Can't you just wait for me to come back and explain?" Her eyes were red, her lip trembling as she looked at me with a pleading gaze. I just stood there, hands in my pockets, my expression unreadable. "You have one chance to make a choice. I hope you don't regret it." She couldn't meet my gaze, her eyes darting away as a war raged within her. "Wait for me. When I get back, I'll explain everything. You can hit me, you can scream at me, I won't say a word. But this is an emergency, can't you just—" I held up a hand, cutting her off. "Don't say another word. I understand. Nate, believe me, I love you." With that, she got into the driver's seat, gave me one last look. Her mouth opened as if to say something more, but nothing came out, and drove away, tires squealing. Loves me, I scoffed to myself. I watched her car disappear down the street, the red tail lights shrinking into the distance until they were gone. My heart sank to the bottom of my stomach. A tear I couldn't stop slipped down my cheek. I wiped it away angrily. I walked back to my car in a daze, got in, and lit a cigarette, the smoke burning my lungs as memories of the last 2 years flashed through my mind. I quit smoking for her. Now it was the only thing that could soothe the gaping wound in my soul. I sat there for a long time, smoking half a pack before I finally started the engine and drove away. I drifted aimlessly through the city streets. I used to think Chloe was my everything. After college, we moved to Chicago together, built our company from the ground up. I thought we'd get married, have kids, and live happily ever after. Sweet memories replayed in my mind like a movie, each one a fresh stab of pain, so intense it was hard to breathe. I finally drove back to the condo, the place feeling hollow and wrong. I lay on the bed, tossing and turning, before finally getting up and walking into Chloe's closet. I knew there was a box in here, a box she always told me never to touch. Maybe the answers I needed were inside. Today, I was going to shatter every last illusion I had about us. Sometimes you have to burn it all down to start over. My hands trembled as I lifted the lid. Thump! A picture frame fell out. It was a photo of Chloe and Ethan, clearly taken when they were dating. They were both smiling, the picture of happiness. I slammed it face down on the dresser and picked up a journal. I opened it. Page after page was filled with details, likes and dislikes. It was Chloe's diary. It documented everything about Ethan, from the brands he wore to the food he ate. It detailed their romantic moments. There were even entries written while she was with me, pining for him. My hand shook as I read on, a lump forming in my throat. Every word felt like a knife in my back. I nearly passed out, gripping the edge of the dresser to keep myself upright. Then I found an entry about me. A stubborn, foolish part of me hoped it would be about her love for me. Instead, it was a splash of ice water to the face. One word destroyed everything she had ever been to me. Substitute. My eyes burned, hot tears streaming down my face. So that's all I was. A substitute. A replacement for him when she was lonely. A placeholder to keep her warm while she missed him. Chloe, you are one hell of an actress. You play me so perfectly. I put everything back exactly as I found it and drove out to the lake. I stood on the shore of Lake Michigan, the cold wind whipping at my face, and screamed out over the dark water. "Chloe Davis, how could you do this to me?" I screamed until my throat was raw. Finally, a fragile calm settled over me. I lit another cigarette, but the memories wouldn't fade. The woman I loved, thinking of another man, shouting at me, hitting me, all for him. The sting on my cheek was nothing compared to the agony in my heart. You made your choice. Now you can't say I broke a promise. Some love stories just don't have a happy ending. She lost someone who loved her more than life itself. I just lost someone who didn't love me at all. So why should I be the one in pain? Ima godam multimilionaire. I'm not going to lose myself over one woman. In that moment, something inside me snapped. To hell with love. I roared at the waves. Chloe Davis, I'm done with you. I crushed the cigarette under my heel, took a deep breath, and walked back to my car. Back at the condo, I took the candles, the cake, the engagement ring I'd bought, and swept it all into the trash. I changed, went to a barber for a sharp new haircut, then hit the shops on Michigan Avenue and bought a new wardrobe. I gathered all my old clothes, everything she'd ever given me, and piled them in the fireplace. I tossed in every photo we had together, watching the memories turn to ash. Out of the last one, a picture of us, Chloe looking radiant and beautiful. I traced her face with my thumb one last time, then threw it into the flames without hesitation. Our company assets weren't divided yet. I decided I'd sell my shares. It was time for the final cut. The truth is, I'd known something was wrong for a month. The secretive phone calls on the balcony, the way she'd slide the door shut so I couldn't hear, the way she'd sometimes smile at her phone for no reason or stare blankly at the ceiling. A man's intuition told me she was hiding something, probably another guy. I'd asked her about it, begged her to be honest. I asked if she was still hung up on her ex. If she was, she could just tell me. I'm not the type to cling to something that's over. She looked me in the eye and said no, and I believed her. I asked what she would do if he came back. She said she wouldn't go back to him. All her firm promises became a joke the day Ethan Vance came back to town. And if there's one thing I hate, it's being lied to. I had made up my mind. I was done. I hired a private investigator to look into Ethan. The report came back quickly. He was a gambling addict, deep in debt to loan sharks. He'd seen that Chloe's company was successful and came crawling back out of desperation. The next day came and went, and Chloe still hadn't returned. The pain in my chest had dulled to a bitter ache. It wasn't love anymore, just resentment. She was no longer my problem. I forced myself to stop thinking of her as someone important. I went to the office like any other day. I was the co-founder and vice president. I had given her the CEO title because she wanted to prove herself. Thinking about it now, I slapped myself across the face. Stupid, I muttered, the sting grounding me. You deserve that. I picked up the phone and called a contact at a firm that had previously expressed interest in buying my shares. We quickly came to an agreement. Then I called my best friend, Leo Chun. We'd started an import-export business on the side together, a venture I'd kept quiet from Chloe. I was afraid it would make her feel insecure. Now it was my way out. Now, is the bar booked? Booked and ready. Just waiting on you, man. Get over here. We've got another surprise for you. What kind of surprise? You'll see when you get here. He was being mysterious. I drove to the cocktail lounge in River North he'd sent me. I walked into the private room and saw a few of our mutual friends, Leo, and someone else. A woman in a shimmering rose gold dress and black heels. Her hair was swept up in an elegant twist, with a few loose strands framing her face. She had flawless skin and delicate, almond-shaped eyes that seemed to sparkle, accentuated by a tiny beauty mark at the corner of one eye. A stunning sapphire necklace rested against her collarbones, and her legs were crossed elegantly. She looked familiar. I found myself staring. The moment she saw me, her eyes lit up, and a small smile graced her lips. She stood and walked toward me, and for a second, I was completely mesmerized, frozen in place. Leo came over and clapped me on the back. There you are. What took you so long? Got held up in traffic. He started making introductions. The woman extended a delicate hand. Nate, it's been a long time. That name, the way she said it. Do-e-e. What? You don't remember me? Get a girlfriend and forget all your old friends. Then she did something that snapped it all into place. She playfully twirled a finger beside her head and pouted her lips. The same silly gesture she used to make back in elementary school. The one I always told her was cute. Adia Sterling. Is that really you? I broke into a wide grin, the weight on my shoulders lifting for the first time in days. Thank God, she laughed. You do remember me. My mood brightened instantly. Aria, where did you go after middle school? You just vanished. My parents and I moved to London. I just came back to the States to start a new venture here. Leo cleared his throat loudly. Hello, your best friend is standing right here. You can't just ignore me for Aria. Sully, man, it's just been so long. I'm a little shocked. Yeah. Anyway, where's Chloe? Don't ask. We broke up. What? You broke up? Leo stared at me, his expression pure disbelief. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Aria tense up for a split second. Believe it or not, her ex is back in town. That witch. After everything you did for her? She left you for an ex. Hold on. I broke up with her. Oh, well. Okay then. In that case, we're celebrating. To hell with her. It's just one girlfriend. There are plenty of fish in the sea, my friend. He glanced over at Arya with a grin. And speaking of fish, you know who this is? This is Arya Sterling, CEO of Janus Technologies, and the sole heiress to the Sterling fortune. Whoa, Arya, that's incredible. Nate, do we really need to be so formal? She teased. No, it's not that. It's just, you're running your own company. That's amazing. After your family moved, I honestly thought I'd never see you again. What? Did you miss me, Nate? She asked, tilting her head with a playful glint in her eye. Well, I miss the good old days, I stammered, scratching the back of my neck. Arya let out a musical laugh. You still do that when you're nervous. Scratch your head, just like when we were kids. We all sat down, and for the next hour, we talked about old times. Arya would cover her mouth when she giggled, and at one point, she laughed so hard she had to clutch her stomach. Seeing her so carefree made me smile too, as if the years between then and now had just melted away. The night of laughter and conversation made me forget, for a little while, the pain of Chloe's betrayal. After a few drinks, some of the others headed home. I was ready to call it a night myself. I'm not used to staying out late. I'd always made it a point to be home for Chloe, to make her feel secure. How ridiculous that seemed now. You can't sacrifice your friendships for a relationship. That's not love. Seeing my expression darken, Arya nudged my shoulder. Hey, the night is young, Nate. You're right. Let's keep it going. That's the spirit. The three of us ended up at a late-night taco truck in Wicker Park. Arya's designer dress and heels were hilariously out of place among the gritty, vibrant street scene, while Leo and I were just in casual clothes. When Arya walked up to the truck, every guy in line turned to stare. With her angelic face, stunning figure, and couture outfit, she radiated an aura of elegance that was impossible to ignore. I thought she might be uncomfortable in such a casual setting, but she grabbed a menu and started pointing excitedly, like a kid in a candy store. Ooh, I want that one. And that one. Watching her, so full of life, I couldn't help but think of Chloe. Chloe would have sneered at a place like this, said it was beneath her. But in the early days of our startup, this was our life. We live on street food. How could she forget that so quickly? Or maybe some people are just built to change, to leave their past behind. The thought brought a fresh wave of sadness. Suddenly, a taco was thrust in front of my face. Nate, you have to try this. Doesn't it taste just like that place in the alley near our old school? I took a bite. Hey, you know what? It really does. Right? She said, her mouth full. She was already devouring another one, sauce smudged on her cheek, completely unbothered as she juggled 3 more tacos in her hand. I smiled, pulled a napkin from the dispenser, and reached over to wipe her face. She froze. Leo froze. I froze. I quickly pulled my hand back. Sorry, that was force of habit. It's okay, she said, her voice a little softer. It's not like you haven't done it before. We laughed and talked about our lives, our ambitions, our childhood memories. Arya was a whirlwind of energy, her mouth never stopping as she worked her way through a mountain of tacos. Suddenly, a heated argument broke out nearby. We turned to see a food delivery driver, his eyes red and his fists clenched, confronting a young woman. Even in his uniform, you could tell there was something refined about him. The woman was clinging to the arm of another guy, a smug-looking dude in designer clothes, and she looked at the driver with pure disdain. You can't give me the life I want. It's over. The rich guy, who was wearing sunglasses at night, just stood there with his arm around the girl, not even bothering to glance at the driver. Sophia, the driver said, his voice trembling, if you didn't love me, you could have just told me. Why did you have to lie? I worked my ass off to put you through college, and this is how you repay me. Did I ask you to do that? She shot back. I never forced you. You did that all on your own. Fina, in that case, pay me back the money I spent on you. Then we'll be even. Why should I? You gave it to me willingly. Hey, delivery boy. The rich guy finally spoke up. You see, she's not into you, right? Stop embarrassing yourself. If you're broke, you shouldn't be dating. Now get lost before things get ugly. He gestured to a few of his friends, who started to surround the driver. The girl, Sophia, then pretended to play the peacemaker. Julian, I don't want to make a scene. I'm sorry for what happened. Just, Please leave. Make a scene, he laughed, a broken sound. I'll work myself to the bone for you. Put you through your master's program, and you think you can just walk away with a let's part amicably? Where's your conscience? Did a dog eat it? The driver was shaking with rage, his eyes filled with disappointment and regret. You son of a bitch, you just don't know when to quit, the rich guy snarled. Boys, teach him a lesson. Just as they were about to jump him, a beer bottle flew through the air and shattered on one of the goons' heads. Who the hell threw that? He yelled, clutching his head. My eyes snapped to Arya. She was still holding the follow-through pose. Leo and I just stared at each other, speechless. Arya stood up. I did, you coward. A bunch of you ganging up on one guy. How pathetic can you be? The rich guy's eyes lit up when he saw her, raking her up and down. Well, hello there. Where did a beauty like you come from? He sauntered over to our table and looked Arya up and down again. It's a crime I haven't seen you around before. Why don't you ditch these losers and hang out with me? I'll show you a good time. He grinned sleazily and reached out to touch her. Slap. Arya's hand moved like lightning, catching him so hard he spun halfway around. My jaw dropped. This girl was a firecracker. But instead of getting angry, the rich guy just laughed. Ooh, feisty. I like that. You're a real firecracker, sweetheart. Turns me on. He gave her a lecherous grin. Thwack. That was it for me. I stepped forward and landed a solid punch right on his jaw, sending him sprawling to the pavement. He clutched his face. Who the hell hit me? That would be me, I said. The punch felt good. I've been keeping up with my boxing, and it showed. Leo stepped up beside me, ready to back us up. The rich guy scrambled to his feet and yelled at his goons. Get them. Leo and I took on two each. As we fought, Arya was on the sidelines, dancing around and cheering us on. Go, Nate. Go, Leo. Mess up their pretty faces. She was clearly enjoying the chaos. The delivery driver, Julian, was clearly outmatched and was quickly knocked to the ground. Seeing this, Arya rolled up the sleeves of her dress, kicked off her heels, and charged into the fray, barefoot. She grabbed one of the goons and started wailing on him with her stiletto. That'll teach you to be a bully, she yelled as she hit him. The rich guy grabbed her from behind. She tried to hit him, but he caught her wrist, his eyes full of lust. I finished off the two. I was fighting with a couple of quick jabs. Get your filthy hands off her, I snarled, walking over and decking him again. This time, blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. He got up, ready to explode, but then he looked around and saw all his guys on the ground. The fight went out of him. Arya, you okay? I asked. I'm Fine. They're the ones with the problem. I went over and helped Julian up. His nose was bleeding. I got him to a chair. Thanks, he mumbled, then glared at the girl across the way. Sophia, get out of my sight. As far as I'm concerned, the last 5 years of my life were a complete waste. We're strangers now. We are done. The girl looked devastated. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. She helped the rich guy to his feet. He shot us one last hateful look. You'll regret this. I won't forget it. Let's go. They all limped away. I poured Julian a beer, and Arya handed him a couple napkins. Thank you. I'm sorry you got dragged into this. Don't worry about it, Arya said, making a fist. We were happy to help. They're lucky they ran off, or I'd have really let them have it. Still, thank you, he said, then let out a bitter laugh as tears streamed down his face. He covered his face with his hands, his shoulders shaking. I didn't know what to say. Hey, man, don't waste your tears on someone who doesn't deserve them. You're better off without her. He's right, Arya added. There are so many good women in the world. Why cry over one piece of trash? You're a good-looking guy. I'm sure you'll find someone amazing. Yeah, man, Leo piped in. Plenty of fish in the sea. Leo, is that the only line you know? Arya asked, rolling her eyes. Leo just shrugged and scratched his head. It's a classic. Julian wiped his face, his expression hardening. You're right. All I lost was someone who didn't love me. Thank you. I'm Julian Cole. Can I get your names? Nathan Miller, Leo Chun, Arya Sterling. We introduced ourselves and ended up drinking together. When we were done, Julian took off his delivery jacket and threw in a trash can. Thanks again for everything. Hope to see you guys around. He waved and walked off into the night. We were all a bit drunk by then. It had been a crazy night, but seeing Arya again had been the highlight. The three of us walked down the street, leaning on each other for support. Nate, Arya said, her voice serious for a moment. Did you really break up with her? Absolutely. I never go back on my word. We're done. Whoever goes back is a coward. So, what are you looking for in a partner? I thought for a moment. To find that one person and never let them go. Never let them go. Leo echoed dramatically. Arya smacked him lightly. Stop it. We dropped Leo off at his place, and then Arya and I walked on under the dim streetlights. We were quiet for a while before she spoke. I know a bit about what happened with you and Chloe. She wasn't the right one for you, Nate. You deserve better. Yeah, 2 years of my life, all for nothing. I really thought she was the one. Nate, and this is just a hypothetical, if Chloe changed, if she decided to be completely devoted to you, would you take her back? Affection that arrives too late is worthless. To be honest, I always knew, deep down, that she wasn't fully committed. But I dove in anyway, like a moth to a flame. I see things clearly now. You can't hold on to sand. It's better to just let it go. That's the Nathan I remember, she said, smiling and patting my arm. So, seriously, when did you get back? The day before yesterday. I was actually going to look you up, but then I saw you and Chloe at that restaurant. I didn't want to make things more complicated, so I called Leo instead. You saw all that? Yeah, it wasn't your fault, Nate. You deserve to be happy. We chatted aimlessly as we walked. When we got to her hotel, I waved goodbye. Then she surprised me. She stood on her toes and planted a soft kiss on my cheek. I stood there, stunned, as she practically skipped into the hotel lobby. I touched my cheek where she'd kissed me. The air felt charged. Arya and I had been inseparable as kids, more like family than anything. Even that kiss, I processed it through the lens of that familial bond. It didn't stir up complicated feelings, just a simple warmth. When I got back to my condo, I stood outside the door, looking at the building. I didn't want to go in. I sighed, pushed the door open, and was immediately hit by a wave of oppressive silence. The air felt thick, suffocating. I sat on the couch in the empty living room, the weight returning to my chest. The night out had been a temporary anesthetic, but back here, the pain came rushing back. I had to get out. I opened Instagram. Ethan's stories were plastered with updates. Chloe by his side as he got in 4 drip, Chloe bringing him dinner, Chloe on a walk with him. I shut my phone off and went to the bathroom, splashing cold water on my face. I looked at myself in the mirror and slapped my own cheeks hard. I couldn't blame Chloe. I could only blame myself for being so weak. So many of my friends had warned me about her. A person who truly loves you doesn't bail on your friends' parties. They don't leave you alone when you're sick. They don't forget the important dates. Thinking back, she had never come to a single one of my social events. When I had the flu, I'd gone to an urgent care clinic by myself. She'd forgotten our anniversary. I stared at my reflection, my resolve hardening. I was not going back. I decided I'd meet with her one last time to make things crystal clear. That night, for the first time in a long time, I slept soundly. No ansiedade, no suspicion, no gelosia. On the 3rd day, a weary-looking Chloe finally returned to the condo. She saw the mess, the burnt-out candles, the trashed cake. Nate, I'm home, she called out, setting down a shopping bag. No answer. Is he at the office? She opened her phone, our last text exchange still on the screen from 3 days ago. I have a surprise for you tonight. A surprise. She looked around, her eyes landing on the cake in the trash. Her heart sank. She frantically tried to remember. Then it hit her. She slapped her forehead. That was his birthday. How could I forget? She knelt and pulled the cake out, setting the ruined box on the table. Happy birthday, Nate, she whispered. And I'm so sorry. Then she saw another box in the trash, a small, elegant one. She picked it up and opened it. A beautiful diamond ring sparkled inside. So the surprise was this? He was going to propose. She collapsed into a chair, her head in her hands, and began to sob. For the first time, the full weight of her actions crashed down on her. What have I done? I missed his birthday. I missed his proposal. She looked at her phone again. Not a single text, not a single call from me since that day. She felt something precious slipping through her fingers, something she could never get back. A wave of panic washed over her. She frantically called my number. No answer. She called again and again. On the 5th try, I was in a conference room, signing the share transfer agreement with the CEO of a rival company. My phone was on silent, Chloe's name flashing on the screen. I flipped it face down on the table. After the CEO left, I finally picked up. What do you want? I asked, my voice flat and cold. It seemed to pierce her through the phone. Nate, where are you? I'm coming to find you. Don't bother. There's nothing left to say. I'll be out of the condo, soon, to make room for your ex. Chloe had bought the condo, and to make her feel secure, I'd never bought my own place. Now, with the money from the sale of my shares, it was time to get a place of my own. Let me explain, Nate. There's really nothing going on with Ethan. I was only taking care of him so he wouldn't cause trouble for you. Can't you understand that? Thanks for your concern, but I don't need it. I told you that day not to do anything you'd regret. Chloe, with me, you're out of chances. Out of chances? The words echoed in her head. Her voice was hoarse and trembling. Nate, can we please just meet? Let's just talk this through. I sighed. A clean break was probably for the best. I agreed and drove back to the condo. When I arrived, Chloe was in the kitchen, wearing an apron, a full dinner spread on the table. She smiled and reached for my hand. I pulled away, avoiding her eyes, and sat on the couch. Let's just get this over with. Her hand was left hanging in the air. My coldness made her flinch. Nate, let's eat first, okay? And this is for you. A peace offering. I was wrong. I hope you like it. She opened a box. A Cartier watch. Expensive. I took it and tossed it on the coffee table. I don't need gifts. My face was a mask of indifference. Her eyes immediately filled with tears. She served me a plate of food, but I had no appetite. I just sat there, holding my fork. What's wrong? You don't like it? Tell me what you want. I'll make it right now. She started to get up. It's fine. I took a bite of food. It tasted like ash. She put a piece of asparagus on my plate. I used my fork to push it off. Her hand froze in midair, her face instantly paling. My action was a deliberate sting. Nate, I'm sorry. I know I've been neglecting you, but I had my reasons. You can understand that, right? I looked up at her, my eyes devoid of any warmth or affection. She visibly shivered. Nate, please. I am sorry. It was my fault. Hit me, scream at me, I don't care. Just, please don't look at me like that. Chloe, I told you we're done. I just came back to make that clear. Nate, let's get married, she suddenly blurted out. What? I know you were going to propose on your birthday. It's all my fault. Please, just forgive me this once. Ask me now. I'll say yes. Please, just ask me. She came over, pressing the ring I had thrown away back into my hand. I stood up, closing my fist around it. A flicker of hope crossed her face. Then, in front of her shocked eyes, I walked to the balcony and hurled the ring out into the night. I'm never going to propose to you. We have no future. Chloe grabbed my arm, her grip desperate. Why? Just because I had one dinner with Ethan? Yes, that's exactly why. But I already explained everything. Why can't you just forgive me? I shook her off and looked her straight in the eye. A heart doesn't turn cold in a day, Chloe. That night was just the last straw. Her eyes widened. You never cared about my feelings. After disappointment, I'm finally over you. I've decided to let you go. What? That's impossible, she whispered, her body trembling. Why is it impossible? I was sick. I went to the clinic alone. It was my birthday. I spent it alone. My friends have a party. I go alone. You were a girlfriend in name only. Nate, you know how busy I am? I thought you didn't care about those things. I'm sorry. I took you for granted. I'll change, okay? For now on, I'll change. I can't lose you, right? You were busy. Busy with another man. Is that it? You always have time for other people. I pulled out my phone and shoved Ethan's Instagram profile in her face. It's not like that, Nate. I was just what? He's your first love, the one that got away. And you knew I loved you, so you thought you could get away with it. You thought I would never leave you. But you need to understand something. Love that isn't returned eventually dies. And my love for you is dead. Do you understand? I don't believe you. Nate, I know I was wrong. I was wrong to take your love for granted. I see that now. I love you. What I felt for Ethan was just unresolved business. I've already told him it's over. From now on, I will be completely devoted to you. Please, just give me one more chance. Your ex should be treated like he's dead. You don't let someone new move into your heart until the old tenant is gone. How do you not understand something so simple? Chloe, in my book, you failed. You don't get any more chances. Why not? Of course there's a chance. As long as you're willing, we can make it work, right? No, I told you that night. If you drove him to the hospital, we were done. You know I don't make idle threats. That was your last chance. Nate, I know you're just angry. You're just saying things you don't mean. I told you I would explain. I swear, I will never have anything to do with Ethan again. Please, just forgive me this one time. This isn't like you, Chloe. You were never one for long speeches. I kind of wish you'd go back to being the cool, aloof woman who barely gave me the time of day. Chloe gave a bitter laugh. I'm about to lose you. What am I supposed to do? Nate, just tell me. What do I have to do to make you forgive me? Just then, her phone rang. I glanced at the screen. It was Ethan. She quickly declined the call, but he immediately called back. You should probably get that. Might be important. She shot me a guilty look and answered. Chloe, I feel awful. Can you come over? Ethan, we're just friends. I have a boyfriend. Please stop calling me. She hung up. See, Nate? I'll never talk to him again. I'm blocking his number right now. Chloe, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Just think about it. In the 2 years we've been together, what have you actually done for this relationship? Nate, I don't know what you mean. July 28th, the flight to Paris. Your so-called business trip. Need I say more? You flew to France to celebrate your ex-boyfriend's birthday. What? You read my diary? How could you? That's my private. Chloe was panicking now. I was looking for an answer. And guess what I found? The only time you mentioned me, you called me your substitute. How pathetic is that? But you know what, Chloe? I don't blame you. I blame myself for making you my entire world. I bet everything on you, and I lost it all. Nate, I swear I never cheated on you. Yes, I went to his birthday. He called and begged me to go, but nothing happened. I flew back the very next day, didn't I? Cheating isn't just about sleeping with someone else. In my book, any contact that crosses the line of friendship is a betrayal, because it means your heart has already strayed. So let's just end this amicably. Why? You can't just break up with me and not give me a single chance to fix it. I don't agree. I admit, I still have feelings for Ethan. But these past few days, I've realized it's you I want. I've made it clear to him. I just want to be with you. She grabbed my hand, hot tears falling onto my skin. But looking at her, I felt nothing. No pity, no sorrow. Nothing. See? Even watching you cry right now, I feel nothing. My love for you is gone, Chloe. Let me go. No, I don't want to break up. I was about to say something when a knock came at the door. Before I could answer, Ethan pushed it open and walked in. Chloe, why did you block me? I was so worried about you. He rushed over and tried to take her hand. She snatched it away. What are you doing here? You're not welcome. Get out. Chloe, what are you talking about? We're friends. Good friends. You can't just forget everything we had. That was it. I saw red. I strode over and kicked him hard in the chest, sending him to the floor. You're like something I scraped off my shoe. You're not a threat, just disgusting. If you want to make me sick, do it outside. Don't do it in my face. I turned and went to my room to pack. Nathan, you have no right to hit me. Chloe loves me. What are you going to do about it? You were just my replacement. What do you have to be so proud of? I stopped, turned back, and was about to go after him again when I heard a sharp slap. Chloe had hit him. He clutched his face. Chloe, shut up. I told you to get out. Didn't you hear me? Nate is my boyfriend, and he's the man I'm going to marry. Why? There is no why. I finally understand that the past is the past. We should be strangers now. She turned and looked at me, her eyes full of emotion. I know now that I love Nate. You were just a mistake. I turned away. Her words meant nothing to me now. It was almost laughable. When I laid my heart at her feet, she ignored it. Now that I've moved on, she says she loves me. I'm not interested anymore. I went back to my room and started packing. I could hear them arguing behind me, but I tuned it out. Ethan tried to hug Chloe, but she pushed him away. She ran into my room and wrapped her arms around me from behind, holding on tight. Nate, please don't leave me. I'm begging you. I'll change. I'll change everything. I'll be the perfect girlfriend. We can meet my parents. We can get married. Please. My hands, which had been folding a shirt, stopped. I pried her fingers off, one by one. It's too late, Chloe. 3 days ago, before I'd read her diary, her words might have meant something. Now I just felt lucky to be getting out. I pushed her away and walked out with my suitcase. Ethan was standing there, his eyes blazing. He lunged at me and grabbed my shirt collar. Chloe is mine. You're just a substitute. You have no right to her love. It's all your fault she's treating me this way. You should just die. I knocked his hands away, slapped him hard, then kicked him to the ground again. I straightened my shirt and looked down at him. If you want her, take her. What do you think you are? You're a homewrecker, a useless, gambling-addicted parasite. You really think I see you as a rival? You, you're lying. Ethan stammered, panic in his eyes. I ignored him and walked out of the condo. Chloe ran after me. Nate, is there really no chance for us? What if I told you I only spent these past few days with Ethan to finally get closure with my past? I never betrayed you. Would you believe me? You want to know why I hid him at the restaurant? I pulled out my phone and showed her the screenshots of Ethan's taunting messages and photos. Chloe's legs gave out, and she sank to the ground. She turned and glared at Ethan, her eyes filled with rage. Ethan scrambled for an excuse. I love you so much, Shut up. Who gave you the right to provoke Nate? Who do you think you are? I only met with you to make it clear that we were over. Chloe, her face streaked with tears, scrambled to her feet and grabbed my wrist. Nate, please believe me. I didn't know he would do something so despicable. Just move on, Chloe. I pulled my hand free, got in my car, and drove away. Behind me, Chloe was screaming. Nate, I'll wait for you. I'll wait until you change your mind. I'll wait forever. The next day, she called again. Nate, you're so cruel, she sobbed. You sold your shares. You burned our photos. You destroyed everything. You're not even leaving me with a single memory. A good ex is a dead ex, I said flatly. I'm not giving up. Before, you chased me. Now, it's my turn to chase you. I'm going to make up for all the pain I caused you. She hung up. Crazy, I muttered. Ex-girlfriend, trying to get back with you? Aria teased from across the cafe table. I don't know what she's thinking. Why do people only appreciate what they have when it's gone? Hey, not everyone is like that. I, for one, cherish the people who are important to me. And do you have someone you cherish? Well, I guess so. I just don't know how he feels about me. She stirred her coffee, her eyes darting up to gauge my reaction. After that, Chloe started showing up everywhere. She sent flowers to my office. She brought me lunch. She did all the things I used to do for her. I couldn't take it. I was afraid that if she kept it up, my resolve would weaken, and I'd fall back into the same trap. I couldn't let that happen. The trust was gone. So when Aria invited me to visit her family in London for a while, I agreed without a second thought. I handed over the reins of the company to Leo, who wished me a happy trip through gritted teeth. Aria's parents were warm and welcoming. We spent the next 6 months exploring Europe, and somewhere along the way, our relationship deepened. One evening, she confessed that she had a crush on me for years, that she'd always dreamed of marrying me. In that moment, the final walls around my heart came down, and we got together. With Aria, there was no anxiety, no suspicion. She gave me a sense of security I had never known. This was what love was supposed to feel like. I got a call from Leo. A major partnership opportunity had come up, an invitation from one of New York's most powerful families. I had to come back, and Aria was invited too. It was a massive real estate project, and whoever landed it would become a major player in the Chicago business world. Leo picked us up from the airport. When he saw us holding hands, a genuine smile spread across his face. Finally, you two finally figured it out. You know, Chloe has been driving me crazy since you left. She's been asking for your number, your address, anything. The past is the past. She's not in my heart anymore. You're a lucky man, Nate. Aria is a keeper. You've known each other forever, and she's always been crazy about you. It's about time you two stopped dancing around it. Aria and I just smiled at each other. At the gala, the first people we saw were Ethan and the rich jerk from the taco truck, Chad. When Chad saw us, he scowled, but when his eyes landed on Aria, he started to salivate. It was disgusting. We found a table, but they followed us like flies. Well, Ethan sneered. No wonder you dumped Chloe. Found yourself an upgrade. And here I thought you were so in love with her. Chad, look who it is, he said to his friend. Chad puffed out his chest. I haven't forgotten what you did. But if this lovely lady is willing to spend a few nights with me, I might be willing to forgive and forget. Get lost, Aria said without even looking at him. Ethan piped up again. Come on, beautiful. Why waste your time with a loser like Nathan? Look at Chad. He's handsome. He's rich. He'll give you anything you want. Ethan, if you don't shut your mouth, I'm going to shut it for you. You. Before he could continue, a sharp voice cut him off. Ethan, that's enough. It was Chloe. She walked over, her assistant trailing behind her. Chloe, you're here. Ethan cooed, instantly transforming into a puppy. She ignored him and walked straight to me, her eyes red. Nate, I've been looking for you everywhere. Why are you avoiding me? Why did you block my number? Do you have any idea what I've been through? I told you, a good ex is a dead ex. And I moved on. I held up my hand, intertwined with Aria's. When Chloe saw our joined hands, she staggered back, her eyes fixed on our fingers. Tears streamed down her face. No, it's not possible. You're lying. You just hired her to make me jealous, right? She opened a box. Inside were 2 rings. Look, I had these made for us. They have our names engraved on them. She took out the man's ring and tried to put on my finger. I pulled my hand back. Chloe, wake up. It's over. I'm getting married. What? Nate, you're just still angry with me, right? That's all this is. Hit me, scream at me, just don't leave me. I know I was wrong. I was wrong to think about someone else when I was with you. But now I just want you. Please, give me one more chance. It's too late, Chloe. My heart is empty of you. No, you're just saying that to hurt me. She was sobbing hysterically, turning her fury on Arya. It's your fault. If it wasn't for you, he wouldn't have left me. Ethan, surprisingly, came to my defense. How can you blame her? Did I force you to come see me? Did I force you to abandon him time and time again? Just admit it, Chloe. You don't love anyone but yourself. As they were arguing, another familiar voice cut through the noise. Julian Cole, are you a piece of gum stuck to my shoe? We broke up. Why are you following me here? I looked over. It was Sophia, the girl from the taco truck, yelling at a man in an impeccably tailored suit. It was him, Julian, the delivery driver. He rolled his eyes at her and scanned the room. When he saw us, he smiled and walked over. Nate, Arya, Leo, good to see you again. We all shook hands, and he sat down with us. You look like you're doing well, I said. I am. Thanks to you guys. You helped me see things clearly. Congratulations. It's me who should be thanking you. Are these guys giving you trouble? Do you need me to step in? We're fine. But you, on the other hand. I nodded towards Sophia, who was standing with Chad. He glanced over. A clown? Not worth my time. I couldn't help but notice that Julian's eyes kept drifting toward Arya. Well, if it isn't the delivery boy, Chad sneered. You think you could just put on a knockoff suit and crash a party like this? You know this loser? Ethan asked. Know him. This one was trying to hit on my girl. And you, he said, pointing at us, we still have a score to settle. And how do you propose we do that? Arya asked, a dangerous glint in her eye. Same as before. 1 month with me, and we'll call it even. Otherwise, none of you are walking out of here tonight. I was about to stand up, but Chloe spoke first. Chad, they're my friends. Let this go. Chloe, stay out of this, I said. Nate. Ethan was not happy. Chloe, don't get involved. He pissed off Chad. There's no way he's getting out of this. You don't want to make an enemy of the Peterson family. I was going to let it slide, for your sake, Chloe, Chad said. But since he doesn't appreciate it, and you, delivery boy, after this is over, you're all mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The presentation is about to begin, the MC announced. Nate, we'll talk after this, okay? Chloe whispered. I brought security. Chad won't be able to touch you. I looked at Arya. She nodded. Fine, I said. Chloe looked from me to Arya, a look of profound sadness on her face, before returning to her seat. The lights dimmed. As you all know, the MC began. Coal Industries of New York is planning a major real estate development here in Chicago. Tonight, they will announce their local partner. Coal Industries? From New York? A thought struck me. Arya and I looked at each other and said the same name at the same time. Julian Cole. He's from the Cole family? Arya whispered. No wonder he seems so different. Looks like someone is about to have a very bad night, Leo added. And we don't even have to lift a finger. But why did he invite us? Arya wondered. We're not in real estate. Who knows? Leo shrugged. Maybe he just wanted to thank us. It can't be a bad thing for us. The Cole family was one of the most powerful in the country. I almost felt sorry for Sophia. What would her face look like when she realized who she had thrown away? And now, the MC announced, please welcome the head of this project, the heir to the Cole fortune, Mr. Julian Cole. As Julian walked onto the stage, confident and poised, Chad and Sophia's jaws dropped. Ethan looked equally stunned. He's a Cole. Chad was trembling. I am screwed. I tried to steal the girlfriend of a Cole. My dad is going to kill me. My family is finished. Sophia just stared at the stage, biting her lip so hard it was a wonder it didn't bleed. The end of Julian's speech came. And for our Chicago partners, Cole Industries has chosen to work with Chun Global Trading and Janus Technologies. Now, did he just say our companies? I was in shock. We had nothing to do with real estate. Julian smiled and nodded at us from the stage. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Leo Chun, Ms. Aria Sterling, and Mr. Nathan Miller. We were escorted to the stage, completely bewildered. Julian, what is this? I asked. We're not in real estate. You are now, he said with a grin. He then addressed the crowd. I'm sure you're all wondering why I chose two companies with no experience in this sector. The reason is simple. I trust the people who run them. When I was at my lowest point, they stood up for me without hesitation. They are people of integrity, unlike some others here tonight. Isn't that right, Mr. Peterson? He glanced at Chad, who looked like he wanted the floor to swallow him whole. A murmur went through the crowd. After the presentation, we were swarmed with people wanting to do business. Julian's assistant intercepted us. Mr. Cole has prepared a private dinner for you. Please come with me. As we approached the private dining room, we heard a woman's desperate screams. Julian, why did you lie to me? If I had known who you were, I would never have left you. Sophia was being held back by two large bodyguards. Julian was inside, looking completely unfazed. He stood to welcome us. When Sophia saw us, she immediately directed her rage at Arya. It was you, wasn't it? You seduced him. Julian, you left me for her, didn't you? Me? Seduce him? Are you delusional? Arya shot back. If it wasn't you, then why won't he talk to me? I stepped in. Miss, you should know exactly why Julian doesn't want you anymore. Don't try to blame other people. You have to take responsibility for your own choices. The path you chose, you have to walk it alone. No one is going to wait for you at the starting line. I know I was wrong, Julian. Please, forgive me just this once. I'll be completely devoted to you. Just give me one more chance. Sophia fell to her knees, sobbing and pleading. Julian never once looked at her. He just gestured to his bodyguards. Get her out of here. She was dragged out, screaming and crying. Thrown onto the street, she pounded the pavement in frustration, her face a mask of regret. Julian never looked back. She finally picked herself up and stumbled away into the night. Just then, I received a text from an unknown number. No one waits for you at the starting line. I get it now, Nate. You're never coming back, are you? It was my fault. I deserved to lose you. Don't worry, I won't bother you again. Be happy. It was Chloe. I had seen her standing in a corner of the ballroom. My words to Sophia had been for her, too. I put my phone away. After dinner, we dove headfirst into the real estate project. With the backing of the Cole family, our companies soared, and Julian became one of our closest friends. I heard that Ethan was beaten by loan sharks and left town. The Peterson family went bankrupt under pressure from the Coles. And Sophia, unable to cope with the reality of what she'd lost, had a nervous breakdown and was taken back to her hometown by her family. Chloe never bothered me again. I heard she became a ruthless businesswoman, throwing all her energy into her company until it became one of the most successful in the city. A year later, Arya and I had a huge wedding in Chicago. On the morning of the ceremony, a package arrived for me. Inside was a journal, a share transfer document, and a letter. The journal was filled with Chloe's entries after I left, full of love and regret. The document was for the shares I had sold. I threw the journal away. Affection that comes too late is worthless. We all have to move forward. I looked at Arya, my beautiful bride, the person I would spend the rest of my life with. We smiled at each other and embraced. I opened the letter. My dearest Nate, it was only after I lost you that I realized how wrong I was. I knew you loved me. I felt it every day, but I let a foolish obsession with the past destroy everything. I hate myself for realizing it too late. I should have burned that old diary years ago. If I had just let go of the past sooner, I wouldn't have lost you. I enjoyed your love while still clinging to my ex. I was a fool. Every day since you left has been filled with regret. Believe it or not, I never physically cheated on you. The day of your birthday, I was meeting with Ethan to end things for good because I had finally realized that I loved you. I wanted to be with you completely, but I messed it up. I had no idea he would send you those messages. Do you know how much it hurt when you said we were over? You left so completely. You burned everything. You didn't even leave me a single memory to hold on to. Now, every time I think of that day, I wake up from nightmares filled with regret. I keep thinking if I had just burned the diary sooner, if I had told Ethan to get lost, if I just called 911 instead of driving him to the hospital, would you still be with me? But it's too late. I tried to do for you all the things you did for me, to make it up to you. But you never looked at me again. I know I was just bothering you, but I couldn't just give up. I didn't know what to do to win you back. Then you disappeared. I knew you just didn't want to see me. When I heard about the Cole Gala, I decided to try one last time. I even brought security. I was going to force you to come with me if I had to. But then I heard what you said to Sophia. It was like you were talking to me. I know now that I've lost you for good. I'm sorry I failed you. Thank you for the 2 years you gave me, for your unconditional love. From now on, my nights will be sleepless. But I don't want to cause you any more pain. I don't want you to hate me. This must be my punishment for taking true love for granted. Forgive me for not coming to your wedding. I can't bear the pain of watching you put a ring on another woman's finger. I wish you both a lifetime of happiness. Forever yours, Chloe. Julian Cole. Epilogue. I am the heir to one of New York's most powerful families. For a woman, I gave up that life. I live as a normal person, worked to put her through school. I was about to tell her who I really was, to propose, when she betrayed me for a local rich kid. It was laughable. A punk like that was nothing more than an ant to me. He had his goons attack me, and that's when they stepped in. A group of strangers who helped me. Among them was a girl, dressed like a princess, but fighting like a warrior in the middle of a gritty street. She even comforted me afterward. I was captivated by her spirit, her unconventional charm. Her name was Arya Sterling. After that night, I couldn't get her out of my head. She was special. Her family was well respected. She was everything I could ever want in a partner. I had my people look into her, and I found out she was in love with someone else. Nathan Miller, a good man. I decided that if he didn't love her back, I would pursue her with everything I had. So I created the partnership project as an excuse to see her again, to tell her how I felt. I told Nathan my intentions, that I wanted to compete for her fairly. He just smiled and said he trusted Arya. I met with Arya a few times, and I laid my heart on the line. She was surprised at first. Then she gently but firmly turned me down. I knew then that she would never be mine. All I could do was wish them a lifetime of happiness. Yendi,